Hey,
Stacey.
what a surprise to see you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on Tuesday, Mindset, Mental Health, and Mindfulness. And I have the amazing Stacey Culpin on with me, and Stacey is a wife, a mother, an amazing business owner, and of these amazing flowers that are behind me, a champion bodybuilder. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I love Stacey, first of all. She's a very big part of both my life and my wife's life. We're ecstatic to have her on. I'm ecstatic to know you, Stacey. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I still don't think I'm interview material, but you made this decision, so let's do it.
I don't think it's more about you, that what you are, and you are amazing. And I'm blessed that you are in our lives, and you spend a lot of time doing things in the background with us than you do, which is exciting. But tell us about you. Tell us about your life. Give us the glimpse of what is Stacey.
The story that Mel wrote for me, or the real one?
did she write you a story? So my wife works with Stacey, does a lot of stuff with Stacey with both her business. They both kind of work together in the business, and it's really coul. But so whatever this is your interview. This isn't my wife's interview.
In all honesty, my husband and I had a bit of a shady past, and then about 6 years ago, we lived an unhealthy lifestyle, and then we got pregnant, and I wasn't working, he wasn't working, we're in a really dark path, and then the moment we found out we got pregnant, it was just instant. That day onwards, we both turned our lives around. And it's just been a whirlwind since then. Since then, 2 businesses. He's doing wonderful in his career. Bought a house, and since have moved again, and the car and the whole dream. We built in 5.5 years what people spend 1 or 2 decades doing. So because we had the best reason in the world, we had Sienna. So everything from that moment we found out we're pregnant just turned around, and now we've gone from that to the picture of health, we're at, gym and healthy food and working like a dog, and, also a good balance of things. But literally when I look back on that life, I don't know what it was like to be that person. I've completely disconnected. It's a really strange thing to describe, because I don't remember looking back and remembering how that felt, because it's like looking back on somebody else's life. So I've gone from one extreme to the other. But it's pretty cool because you always I think Ben and I have such an appreciation for everything we've had, because we know what it's like to not have that life. So every time we look out the window and we see the nice trees from our yard, or just anything, going to the supermarket and being able to buy food without thinking too much about the price, because you remember what it was like. We were so broke when I was pregnant that Ben had to steal toilet paper from a public toilet, and now obviously things are very different. So it's pretty cool. It's very vulnerable for me to tell all that, but that's the truth. So
it's open, it's honest, and I love that about you. I mean, and that's something that my wife says all the time about you. You speak from your heart, and you're a very honest, loving, caring person, and that's what we love about you, and that's what makes you you. And Ben is Ben's the same thing, and you guys are an amazing couple. I mean, talk about a power couple. You're right, and I've heard that you say that a couple of times, that Sienna saved your lives. And
she did. She saved our lives. I don't know where we'd be, because she really did save our lives. She really did. So when we're really busy all the time, we have to remember that she was why we're here. So because obviously work can be quite addictive. So
especially with what you do, and you're involved in everything. And if you're not making amazing flowers like this. And this one I keep pointing to, and I love. This is my favorite, and it's because it's named after me.
It's named after you.
I love it. It's my favorite. It's the first one that we're lucky to have a lot of these around our house, and I point this one out all the time because it's my favorite. So I'm very happy.
Well, nearly Christmas time, so there'll be a whole new influx of them coming through soon.
They're
For you
amazing.
guys.
We love them because they're perfect. We have them all around our house, and we have people like watering them. So I will get into that later. Your flowers need some water. Yes,
That happens all the time. That happens all the time. People do water them. It happens all the time.
My mother-in-law watered them when we were away on holiday one time. Came back to more water in the fires. It was interesting. I was like, anyways. So Sienna saved your lives, and is she? What is she? Would you say she's your why? She's what drives you forward every day. She's the one that gets you out of bed, makes you push your hard times.
Well, look, again, to be honest, there's somebody I know that had a past like mine. And then when his kids grew up, he went back to that life. So, and I never forgot that for some reason. So I always made it a really big priority not to make Sienna my entire world, because I didn't want that to be my identity. I wanted to make sure I had a full life outside of Sienna, so that, I was never to go back to that life. So yeah, obviously Sienna is a big part of it, but I think it, as a role model to her, it's important for her to see me, have a full rounded life as well. That, I do stay fit, I work hard, that Ben and I have a relationship outside of her that, I think those are good influences for her. So yeah. I don't, that's the truth.
What drives you? Just that knowing to become the best person that you can be?
The drive. Firstly, I think, it's a personality thing as well. Well, with our exercise, it started off, I put a lot of weight on when I had Sienna. I think I put like 30 kilos on, because I went from this toxic lifestyle to all of a sudden I couldn't even have a cup of coffee. So I think I ate a lot during that pregnancy. And then Dad got me into running afterwards, and over a year I lost all that weight. So, but then, trying to achieve new goals. But I think what I ended up realizing was that I was using exercise for mental health and stress release and all those things. Because with coronavirus, our gyms are closed, and then even then they took away our PTs, because I usually have a PT 4 or 5 times a week. And I've noticed, like, I've been grumpier. Like, you don't know until it's taken away how much of a mood regulator exercise is, because I just thought I was like perfect all the time.
Said Ben.
Yeah.
Said Ben.
So yeah,
it's true. The oxytocin that gets released when you work out and you exert effort is amazing. So it makes you a stronger, better person. That's absolutely, right.
And then with the business, what drives me?
You're a hustler, Stacey. Like, people that don't know this, the amount of, like, I get to see it, like, on, pictures that you send to Mel, my wife work together, but like pictures you put on Facebook, the amount of these that go out in a week across the country outside of Australia is mind-boggling. And it's amazing that you guys do that. What you can pull off to get as much done as you do in a week. It's amazing.
In all honesty, though, like, it's the people that work with me. Like, working with Melinda, I know she's my secret weapon, 100%. And then the girl that works with me, Renee, as well. Like, being with a good team of people, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. And I don't understand these big businesses that do well when they don't look after their staff. Like, I don't understand it at all. I think I know better than anyone. I wouldn't be where I am today without Melinda or Renee or the whole support network as well. But she's like-minded. Like, I obsess over, I think for anyone to be successful in business, like, that's a common question that gets thrown around. But for me, it's, I feel like you have to be obsessed with your business. Like, I feel like you have to be obsessed with it. I live and breathe my business like I do my daughter. It's exactly the same type of passion. Like, it's you get up to go to the toilet in the middle of the night and you're ticking away, you're thinking about things. You wake up, you're thinking about things. Like, it's the last thing I think about before I go to bed. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up. I'm always thinking about it. So, and you just got to be passionate. Like Mel, when I talk to her, she's, we're firing back at each other. It's being around excited people because you feed off each other. You really, really do.
And you guys do. I get to see it on the kind of the other side, and she gets so excited when you're fired up and you're ready to go, and or she's got a really good idea and then she's ready to give to you. Like it hits me first. I get to hear it first, so I get to hear how excited she is, and then she presents this to you, and then how excited you get when I'm like, it's really cool. So it's for me to be on the other side. It's a really cool thing to be, on the outside of,
Yeah. Well, Ben, she rang me late the other night, and so I tiptoed out, and Ben comes down the hall and goes, "Who are you talking to, Mel?" And I'm like, "Yeah." At 11 o'clock or something like that.
And it's like you said, it's like the 1% things in the business. If you can obsess about the 1% things, then they just all add up and it makes an amazing thing. And not only your business, but your life and everything that you've come to has changed so much, and it's come, so far in the short time that we've known you, and that we've, got to know you and Ben in your life. And we actually we got to know you guys actually before you were married and going through the marriage thing. And then before that, bodybuilding championship, how that came about, and what got you involved? You're obviously gym rat, hanging out at the gym, but what turned you into the bodybuilding side? What was the driving motion to that?
So I was trying to train for my wedding day, look great in the dress, and I just had a trainer, and she goes, "Oh, you should do comp." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "What's that?" and 6 months at least prepping for a bodybuilding competition. One was in 6 weeks, 9 weeks. And I prepped for it, and sure enough, I won first in 4 divisions. And that was pretty crazy. Pretty cool thing to do. I think it was on my 35th birthday I did that. And then, going up against 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. So it was pretty cool. But look, in all honesty, I've learned a lot since then. It's about balance. That's a really extreme thing to do, and especially in a short period of time. I did prep for a second bodybuilding competition, but I was 6 weeks out and coronavirus happened. But that time I did a much slower prep because a woman's body shouldn't go through that so quickly. You shouldn't lean out like that in 9 weeks. It causes a lot of problems for women to do that. So, if you do that kind of thing, it's so important to have a responsible, knowledgeable coach, someone that knows what they're doing, because you can destroy yourself otherwise. Yeah. But it's the trendy thing to do now. Everyone's bodybuilding. It's the thing.
Yeah. I think with COVID and everybody, COVID-19 and everybody, out, there's less gym opportunities, like you said. So, but there's still I found more people doing more at home workouts, and I know you guys do see it, but you guys posting on Facebook, doing the at home workout stuff, and it's kind of become the thing. I believe more people are trying to live a healthier, active lifestyle than ever before.
Also, the body shape of what's trendy's changed. I train at this gym. It's really old school. It's very rocky. Somewhere Arnold.
I saw a really cool picture of it, and I'll be honest with you, when I saw a picture of it, I reminded myself.
Did you see that? How cool is it?
Collapsed on the floor. The one where you're collapsed on the floor. And I remember thinking to myself, that reminds me of the gym that I used to train out when I was in high school. It's old school equipment, really rough around the edges. It's like the Gold's Gym. It was in America, I remember Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym in America was that's where Arnold worked out. That's I used to work out at a Gold's Gym. So it's I saw it, I'm like, that reminds me of Gold's. That's old school.
And my trainer's old school too. He puts the fear of God in you. It's pretty insane. But I haven't seen him since, because he's out of my 5K bubble, so I can't go and see him. But I've got another one I've just started with within 5K. So they've just let us starting to see PTs again, like as of a week ago, but it has to be within 5 kilometers of you. So, but I'll go back to that slave driver as soon as I'm allowed. But it is a really old
I forget that, like, maybe it's being in New South Wales, we, you know, get a little bit more freedoms than you guys do down in Victoria. Hopefully it'll start to loosen up a bit. But I mean, I forget what it's like. I mean, like, our gyms have been open since June, July, Simone. How long has it been? I think like June, July. They've been open again. So, like, I kind of forget what that life is that you guys are still living in.
I can't believe what life you guys are living in. Like, my sister's in Queensland. She's telling me SeaWorld's open. Like, I'm not even allowed to go to the servo and get a protein bar. I'm running the gauntlet by doing that. So that's crazy.
That's crazy. Anyway, that's crazy. Okay, so 2 more questions. I don't want to take too much time tonight, but 2 more questions. What is, like, growing up and through your life, your personal life, who's someone that's been, like, kind of your driving force, like someone that you, like, maybe your mentor, or someone that you've looked up to your whole life?
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, we've had our ups and downs, but my dad, I take after my dad. He's an entrepreneur as well. He's a business owner, and we've got very similar personality types. He's like a cyclone. I'm like a cyclone. And he's what I call a doer. I'm a doer as well. You know, if something needs doing, we just go and get it done right there and then. As, you know, as far as influences and that's concerned, I've learnt recently about people measure their happiness on, like, other people. Like, someone might be happy, but then they might look at someone else and see that they've got more, and then all of a sudden they're not feeling happy about it. So I try and just stay in my bubble and run my own race and not look too much about what everyone else is doing, because I find that that's just usually an unhealthy recipe. That's my latest sort of trend path I'm on at the moment, is just not comparing yourself. I think that's a really unhealthy practice. But yeah, dad growing up 100%, whether he wants to admit it or not. But he's a car dealer, and he's out of work because of COVID. And when the business went boom, he just jumped in, and he's been amazing. He delivered 18 arrangements today around Melbourne. He's like 72. Wow. And actually, he saved my ass yesterday. He went for a 5K run, delivered all these arrangements, and then it was like 5 o'clock, and I realized I was meant to have this hamper delivered. It was like an hour and a half's drive away, and I'd promised this lady it would have been delivered that day. Anyway, Dad jumped in the car and went and drove it there last night and dropped it off. Like, he's that kind of bloke. So yeah, I really do admire that. That's where I get it. That's
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. It was kind of, that was, I'll warn you, that was a Melinda question. That was loaded, because she said Stacey's going to say dad. And she said, so it was kind of a loaded question, and I kind of knew the answer to it when I was asking it. So it's true.
But, everything try and take the good and the bad from your parents. You know, my mum's more like my husband, like grounded, easygoing, and so, you know, I'm glad I've got those forces in my life too, because otherwise I have a stroke by the time I'm 40.
I hope not. Seriously. I absolutely hope not. I mean, yeah, it's that's true. I'm the same way. I mean, I'm the same way. I have a lot of characteristics of both my parents. I feel like I'm more like my father. It's so much so that the other day, Mel was playing a video, you know, like on her phone, she's watching a video, and the person that was talking in the video, I could have sworn it was my father. I would have put money on it was my father. It was a year ago, like one of those past memories. It was a year ago, and I was like, how did you get that? When's that video of my father taken? She's like, no, that's you. I was like, wow. Not only do I sound like him, but I have the same like. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So,
that would have been a
good
goodness moment.
Good to be. I guess it's good to be like your father. Then I don't know, but Stacey, last big question. Okay, amazing wife, mother, entrepreneur. Champion person. An amazing person. Like, I'm blessed to have you in our lives. Where do you see yourself and your business and your life in 5 years? Now so that makes what, Sienna, then, what, 10, 11.
Wow.
Right? In 5 years, right?
Yeah. I mean, oh gosh, I've been so lucky this year. I mean, some of the things that are happening now, the business grew so quick this year that, like, I'm getting to do things now that I would have thought was still a few years off. So, I mean, I'd love to be in a big warehouse, selling to people like myself, importing and look, I'm even thinking about letting, Renee sort of run down here and then opening up a whole new area, like from Queensland. So we have like same day delivery in like another state, and then who knows, maybe even then another state again. So Ben wants to move to Queensland, so I'm trying to make that work.
Ben, this is a newsflash, Ben. You need to move to New South Wales, Western Sydney.
Well, that's the third part of the plan.
Come hang out with us.
I want to go on a big holiday with you guys. That'd be amazing.
We've been talking about it for a year now.
Yeah.
Thank you, COVID-19, we were going to go down. This is we thought that the restrictions and everything were going to be loosened in August, and we had this big thing that I was throwing around with Mel that, like, we'd drive down to Melbourne, we'd see the 12 Apostles, we'd come see you guys. It was an awesome trip, and then Melbourne went in lockdown, and that was the end of that trip. So.
That would have been so good. We will do it.
2021 is even, if the application for 2021 looks half as bad as 2020, the access is gonna be denied. So there's gonna be no chance of that. But I'm gonna do it.
Look, I don't mind if we can't go overseas. I just want to be able to travel within Australia. That'd be great. I'm happy with that, because we've got the best country in the world to be stuck in. That's fantastic. I could deal with that.
I have not. So the furthest north I've been is Port Macquarie. The furthest south I've been is ACT, and the furthest west I've been is Parks, which is about 6 hours west of us, in Western Sydney. So I've traveled nothing in Australia, and I've been dying to say, here's a princess.
Hello.
Hi, Sienna. Hi. So amazing. Stacey, thank you so much for coming on. You're much better at this than you think you are. Okay. You did an amazing job. Okay. You were so worried about it.
Like I said before, is when they advertise, at the ICN bodybuilding competition, they put all the video clips together of, mostly the winners of the day, which I was. And I wasn't in any of the clips because all my interviews just sounded terrible. I tried. Maybe I was swearing. I don't know. Thanks for your time. It was really good seeing you.
Heath wanted a turn to come in.
Come here.
So now we have.
Hi. Oh, they would be best friends.
I told you they're about the same age too. That's why. So they'd be good.
Oh.
But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take too much of everyone's time. We had an amazing time. Thank you, Stacey, so much for coming on. Heath, please don't touch everything under the sun and break this. I'm going to let everyone go. Everyone, the guys, thanks. For everyone in the HL group, we are day 2 into the 7-day free challenge. The Spring Up Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know Stacey, you're not friends with Stacey, and you want to get one of these amazing arrangements, message me, message Stacey, okay? Foreverflowering.com.au is an amazing site. That's where what she does. And thank you, Heath, for that. I'm going to let everybody go. Stacey, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
We'll talk soon.
So good to